beats Carlos Alcaraz, a little measure of revenge, if we want to call it that, for Alcaraz.
Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz have emerged as the heirs to the tennis throne as the Big Three era fades, with only Novak Djokovic still clinging to his legacy. From Alcaraz's breathtaking comeback in Paris to Sinner's grass-court mastery at Wimbledon, these two are shaping the sport's future. But does Sinner's recent triumph truly tip the scales in his favor? Not quite. Despite the Italian's rise to number one, ATP star Talon Griekspoor has now delivered a harsh dose of truth, highlighting Alcaraz's edge. Curious much? In the latest episode of the Changeover podcast, recorded in the afterglow of Wimbledon's final night, ATP pro Talon Griekspoor joined hosts Justin Roberts and Jody Maginley to dissect the burning question fans can't stop debating. Carlos Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner? Who's the true king of this next-gen era? Griekspoor, who holds a 0-6 record against Sinner and 0-5 against Alcaraz, didn't hesitate to dive deep into the technical trenches of both rivals' games. Well, for me personally, I've always had more chances against Sinner than I had against Alcaraz, he revealed. I feel like with Sinner you know what's coming. Like he does it unbelievably well, like he's the best player in the world. It was respect, layered in cold analysis. But Griekspoor wasn't done. He shifted the conversation toward the subtle shades that separate the two. But at the same time he doesn't have the net skills and the net game that Alcaraz has. He doesn't have the drop shot. He doesn't have the backhand slice. Like he has the sliding backhand. Like the things he does is unbelievable. The Dutchman dug further. Unbelievable level. But I think Alcaraz has a bit more options, he explained. And I think what's holding why Alcaraz is also a little bit more up and down is because he maybe is not using the right options at the right time. But on the other hand, in trouble, I think Alcaraz can do much more. It was a breakdown with surgical precision, less emotion, more craft. And then came the final blow. I think Alcaraz's peak can be higher than Sinner's peak. But Sinner, well, now after yesterday, I'm actually not sure if this is true, Griekspoor admitted. I just think that Alcaraz has more options. He's more complete than Sinner is. But whatever Sinner does, he's the best in the world in doing that. To give you an idea, the 3 championship points, Jannik Sinner had stood here before. Just 35 days earlier, he watched Carlos Alcaraz snatch the French Open from his grasp. But recently at Wimbledon, he was different. Calm, composed and unshakable, the 23-year-old Italian rose to claim his maiden Wimbledon crown, silencing center court with triumph and redemption. As he knelt on the grass, emotions surged. This was more than a win, it was closure. Yet, despite the victory, whispers linger. Talon Griekspoor boldly reignited the debate, drawing a sharp line between the two phenoms. And just like that, the rivalry deepened. And as the Dutchman draws a sharp line between the two, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have recently ignited a fresh debate with an ATP star's bold generational claim. Just when tennis fans feared a void after the golden era of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray, the sport finds its next heartbeat. Former Wimbledon champion Pat Cash couldn't have put it better. We have just come out of one of the most incredible eras, and suddenly these two guys are stepping up, he told BBC Radio 5 Live. I always say Andre Agassi saved men's tennis when he came back, and these guys are saving men's tennis now. The torch, it seems, has been passed, straight into the blazing hands of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Dubbed Sinkeraz by fans, this duo hasn't just filled the shoes of legends, they're sprinting in them. With every slam final, every brutal rally, and every thunderous finish, they are shaping the modern tennis narrative. But is this new era truly comparable to the age of the Big Four? One man who knows both worlds well, Hubert Hurkacz, offered a take that dares to question everything. Speaking at an Adidas event in London, Hurkacz told Tennis 365, "It's difficult to say who wins when they are all playing their best tennis." But then, with the calm of a truth bomb, he dropped the line that splits generations. I feel like the level is growing every single year, and obviously, we can say the level is better than it was 10 years ago, but that is not to say Roger, Rafa, Novak, and Andy could not get to where we are now. The honesty didn't stop there. Jannik and Carlos are playing at an incredible level now, and it is up to the rest of us to work hard to keep up with them, Hercax added. That's why I wake up every morning and work so hard, to try and reach those levels. So, now that the torch burns bright again, between Sinner and Alcaraz, who do you crown as the superior one after their recent display of fire and fight?